Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is May the 8th, okay? And of course, it's always a beautiful day on the south side of GA. Today's topic is about being single in quarantine. Being single in quarantine during COVID-19, right? So, a couple of things I want to definitely discuss today on episode 8. This weekend that's coming up is actually Mother's Day weekend, so I'm going to try to push out the last little bit of season 1, which is pretty good for me. We're basically just gonna go from there. My new schedule is gonna change of when I record, so it's gonna be interesting, something different that I had never done before. But of course, season 2 is gonna be a revamp of season 1, so definitely it's gonna be way better. I'm gonna have way more guest co-hosts and guests on the show. We're new. We're trying to get it together. So it's a slow and steady process, but we're getting there, right? A couple of things. I definitely want to take a silent pause for at least 2 to 3 seconds. The reason I wanted to pause was because 2 reasons. Number one, Little Richard, the wild man of rock and roll himself, who was originally born December the 5th, 1932, actually passed away on the 9th. And he passed away from cancer. As well as we also have Ahmaud Arbery. Basically, he is one of those specific cases in Georgia that have been definitely overlooked. Far as Little Richard, I definitely want to send my condolences out to his family, but as well as Ahmaud's family. Miss Cooper, I just want you to know that our hearts go out to you and your family. She made a very plain statement that she saw her son come into this world. She does not want to see the video of him going out of this world, which I can definitely agree as a mother. Ahmaud Arbery was a football star as well as a jogger. So on the norm, he would jog about a couple of miles a day to keep his stamina up and things of that nature. There were a father and a son duo that actually killed him. Father and a son duo was Gregory McMichael and Travis McMichael. The reason why it did not become a big thing, which is something that is pretty heavy here in Georgia, he was a part, Mr. Gregory McMichael was a part of the actual police force, okay? So because he's a part of police force, a lot of things got covered up. Ahmaud Arbery was someone that passed away on February the 23rd. The fact that we're now getting confirmation and now getting this news that this was basically a cover-up is a lot of intricate details when it comes to this case in specifically. The person who actually shot the video that we are now seeing, a guy named William Bryan. Of course, his name got cleared because originally a lot of people had speculations that he was basically a part of blocking Ahmaud in from running around and basically fighting for his life to get away from the 2 gunmen, the father and son duo. It's been official. He's actually been cleared for his name being a part of or having any type of involvement in Ahmaud's case. But hopefully, everything will continue after the grand jury is put together in June the 12th, once the COVID-19 restrictions are lifted, of course. Speaking of COVID-19, in Georgia, the numbers, of course, have not updated because as of today, it is the 9th. But I am recording this show for yesterday. So, of course, my apologies. It's definitely on my end, right? Speaking of COVID-19 numbers, though, an additional 596 more cases here in Georgia. So as of right now, we are confirmed 31,609 confirmed cases and over 1,352 deaths. Okay, so the numbers, of course, have definitely for a fact went up. An additional 56 deaths since I've been reporting COVID-19 numbers, and of course I am damn sure tired of reporting COVID-19 numbers, but that is what's currently going on. That's a part of our current news at this moment. It is set to be official that, you know, within the next 1 to 2 years, this is something that we'll be dealing with. And I guess for the next 2 years, we just have something to really talk about as far as our health and things go. What I will say is this. Please do your due diligence. Still stay 6 feet away. Still wear your gloves. Still wear your mask. I know it's hard for me personally. I try to do that as much as possible. And of course, wash your hands. But definitely try to do that as much as possible. Now, while we are still kind of sort of quarantining, please, there's a new something to watch on Netflix. It's called The Secret. It's about the power of manifestation, right? So if you think it, you believe it, and then it comes true. It's kind of how the saying goes, you know, you speak realness into the atmosphere, it shall come true, because that is what it is, right? The Secret basically gives you the ins and outs of what you need to do to turn your entire life around, to stop focusing on the negative and of course focus on the positive. Me personally, and a lot of people may agree, I like to read the book before I watch the movie. Reading the books just kind of gives me, you know, a syllabus of the movie, and then when I watch the movie, I kind of the open parts that I felt like I could not understand as I read the book, I completely understand after watching the movie. So that's definitely something to go and watch. It's pretty interesting, the things that they say, and it's just more so doing the things that they suggest you do in order to turn your life around. That is the difficult part. So for me, I'm in process of doing that, right? All right, so another kick-ass fact of the day, for May the 8th of 2010, your homegirl Betty White, of course, she's a nationally known, thank you for being a friend, okay? She was actually a host of Saturday Night Live, and she became a fan favorite and handpicked by the fans to host Saturday Night Live on Facebook. She actually won an Emmy for her guest appearance of hosting, right? Anywho, so I guess I'm gonna kind of sort of get into this single quarantine life. Being single in quarantine, I'm gonna be honest, it sucks. You cannot get quarantine dick the way you need to. Like, for me personally, I like on demand. If I call, you come. That type of situation. That's pretty much how I've been living my single life. Transition is definitely going to be made. But these are stories that I have to tell. Of course, I have my really down moments where I really need some I need to get some. I do have one specific person that I definitely try and go and call up and whatnot, maybe, and that's just kind of what it is. It's not too often. I would like it to be on the everyday basis, because that's my personality and that's kind of who I am. And whoever I deal with, of course, they're gonna have to host. I'm not a hostess. I don't, point blank period. Just can't do it. Don't want to do it. Don't feel like doing it. And if anybody got something to say, he gets my ass. Like, that's just how I really feel, right? Alright, anywho, now that I am like just trying to give a shout out to any and everybody who wants to get shouted out on here, I'm doing Instagram shine. Like, now is your time to shine, right? So there's a super duper dope tattoo artist that I know. His name is Geek Boy Tattoos. Get at him on Instagram. Of course, he requires a deposit. Nobody likes to play with their money. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Another person that I definitely want to shout out is Food Plug Wave. You know how a lot of times that you see these Instagram stories or you see these Instagram posts and the food don't look like what you seen in the post? That is completely the opposite with Food Plug Wave. Food Plug Wave, I have ate there and he's real humble. He's super duper cool and he serves good food. Like, have you ever met a man that can cook? Let me tell you, a man that can cook is something that's something you need to know about, for real. And of course, the shade room. I try to get my tea as much as possible, and then I go off and do my own little research. But I love keeping up with my gossip every now and then with the shade room, so I can definitely appreciate that while I'm here. And just basically speaking about the revamping of shit under my nails. I generally love it, but what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna ask you, my audience, for a little help. Like, I need some help with this podcast, and each and every one of my audiences, I would love for you guys to help me out and scheduling to be a guest or scheduling to be a co-host, and we just make this thing work. And of course, advertisement is everything. If you ever have a case where you know somebody with some good music, or you know somebody with some good beats, tattoo artists, anybody that have good financial services, let me know, because this is just free advertisement, not only for us but for them as well. Definitely don't be afraid to hit me up on my Instagram, Durrty DURRTY, or did I spell it DURTTY _Joe? Something simple, definitely nothing complicated. So either way, you'll be able to find me. All in all, I'm gonna leave you with this for my little, I guess you can call it my little sign off, because it's been a good couple of minutes, right? I'm just trying to keep your attention for a few minutes, right? So these are 10 tips to be single and to be happy, and these are tips that I'm working on a daily basis, right? Be honest with yourself. Accountability goes a long way. Meet new people. I know it's kind of hard with COVID-19 out, but there's always Facebook, Instagram, Tagged, and every other social media platform in order for you to get to know someone. Learn to feel. Don't have yourself closed off to possibilities. Be optimistic and expediting all options to either be single and happy or be in a relationship and be happy. Foster other relationships. There's definitely not a problem with looking at other relationships or having some type of goal oriented situation that you can look towards, but just know that what you see on the outside is possibly not what happens on the inside. So that gives me my next step, which is developing self-awareness. Don't just automatically assume that because what you see on the outside is what's on the inside. It's definitely not the fucking case at all. Since we are still going through COVID-19, and it is suggested you be 6 feet apart, and it is suggested you wear your gloves, your mask, and wash your hands, do a little bit of traveling. I know it's a crazy time to do it, right? Yeah, so it's definitely a crazy time to actually travel, but I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, you can do what you can, but just be real precautious, right? Don't be cynical. This is one that is hardest, because there are times where you feel hopeless, and there are times when we will be disappointed. There are times where we'll feel lonely as well. So don't lose hope, and don't create a self-fulfillment prophecy that you don't want to come true. And that goes back to, of course, manifestation. So if you don't want to be lonely and you don't want to do these things, don't be lonely. Have the thought in your mind, create a happy and pleasant thought. Have a nice little thought catalog for you. When you're feeling down, sad, or feeling alone, just create something. Sometimes it's good to do things alone. You don't have to be with someone to feel fulfilled, but this definitely sounds obvious, and I know, but a lot of people are afraid to do things by themselves, like go to the movies and have a meal, go shopping. I mean, it's okay to be alone. I promise you'll definitely survive. You're not gonna lose anything from being alone, right? All right, so I have 2 more tips to being single and being happy. Be weird. Like, do the shit on purpose. Do something you would normally never do. I don't know, like karaoke, or just you get extra points for doing it while you're sober. Like, that just says a fucking lot. And it's okay to make mistakes while you're in the midst of trying to be single and be happy. Live your life regardless of whether or not you are a part of a couple or not. It's okay to screw up at times. You're still living your life. You're still learning. The whole process of just being in a relationship or just being single, it's a learning curve and a learning process, something that we have yet to master, but we're getting to it. So, like, let's just say, for example, Valentine's Day come up. I know Valentine's Day has already passed, but when Valentine's Day do come up and you are single, man, go out by yourself. Take your damn self out. There's plenty of room at the bar, and you never know, you could meet somebody, or you could just go out with your friends. Don't be afraid to be single. That becomes the best part of being happy. Just knowing yourself. And like I said, I'm not the one to give out the best advice, but I do have some advice, and I'm in the learning process with you. So if you feeling single and I'm single, we gonna get this single shit together, okay? But as always, right, it's always gonna be a beautiful day on the south side of GA. And anybody got something to say, you tell them to come holler at me. All right, y'all. Peace.